So we've reached video 3. Thank you for showing up for yourself and for sitting through these videos. I hope some of the tools that you've been gaining here have been useful. And I'm sure that you know over at Self Care School, there are loads more like this. This is just a little snippet to give you an idea as to who I am and how I show up. And hopefully you can see the sort of way that I teach, and hopefully there'll be something here that's useful for you. Today, I wanted to touch on a really touchy subject that I'm sure will be coming up for a lot of you, and that's the idea that making time for yourself is selfish. Now, you might not think that on the surface. You might think, oh no, I'm not someone who thinks like things like that. Like people should definitely take time for themselves. But I wonder where you might possibly make sure that everybody else is okay before you think about yourself, or serve everybody else before you allow yourself to have dinner or eat the food, or make sure that everybody else in the room is all fine and has a seat before you ever think about taking one. These kind of actions are what play into this idea that everybody else has to be okay before we're allowed anything nice. And the problem with that is everybody else isn't ever going to be okay. We've all got our own stuff going on. It's that old phrase that I'm sure you've heard lots before about putting your own oxygen mask on before you put your own on. I want to really emphasize that self care is not selfish. It's actually essential and it supports us all as a community, because when we are looking after ourselves, we actually are able to be there more for other people. And I don't think that's the only reason that we should look after ourselves. But this idea that putting ourselves on the back burner means that we are never a bother actually doesn't work out in reality, because we end up overwhelmed, burnt out, and not able to give our attention and our love and our care to the places that are really important to us. Being more confident, being more at ease in your own skin shows up in your relationships. It shows up in the way that you show up in your family. It shows up in your activism, the way that you're able to show up in the world and speak to social justice, shows up in the way that you're able to be there and available for other people. We can quite often think that it is self-indulgent to look after ourselves, but actually when we are centered and grounded and have a practice that enables us to deal with hard things, we're able to be there a lot more to deal with issues of social justice that, if you're listening to this and you're in my sphere, I guess is probably quite important to you. You deserve the kind of love and the care that you give other people. And we need to model that as an example as to how things could be different and not be replicating the systems that keep us so exhausted so much of the time. You being able to look after yourself means that other people don't feel like they need to step in to look after you. Creating that kind of deeper connection with yourself offers you the space for you to be able to hold space for other people. And it enables other people to be able to look towards you and see from how difficult things have been for you. And I know that if you're watching this, things probably have been a real journey to get here. If you can get to a place where you feel confident and safe in your own skin, then other people will look to you and believe that it could be possible for them too. And that's why modeling this stuff is the opposite of selfish. It is absolutely imperative if we are going to try and create a world that is built on more kindness, more compassion, and more care for other people. That is why I'm here. And that is what Self Care School is completely built around. So, if this is something that you are interested in, I want you to go and have a look at Self Care School and just check out. There are 3 different pricing options. There's a full wage for people who can afford it. There is a concessions wage for people who are not able to afford the full wage. And for survivors and folk who the other options would not be available to, there are bursary spaces available. And all 3 of those options are available on the page, and you can just self-select and let me know which one it is. If you're able to pay the full fee, that helps me be able to make this equitable and accessible to more people. I would really, really love to see you inside this brilliant community. There are so many courses on so many different things, from perfectionism, body image, confidence, boundaries, money mindset. Oh my goodness, the way that you can show up for yourself differently when you're not spending so much time being horrible to yourself shows up in your bank balance. All of this stuff is available and waiting for you right here, just at the click of a button. Head to selfcareschool.co.uk. Got any questions? Hit me an email, reply to this, and I hope to see you inside.